The Kansas City Chiefs kick off the new NFL season this Thursday night against the Detroit Lions, and while the overwhelming excitement for most fans is the anticipation, there's still a persistent issue looming at the start of the season. Stay here with me to get all the first-hand info. Already show your support and hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so that more Kansas Chiefs fans can have access to this information about our beloved team. Let's go to the video. Chris Jones's holdout continues. KC's star defensive tackle has not reported yet and says he might not show up for up to 8 weeks if he doesn't secure a new contract to his liking. I previously wrote that Jones deserves to be paid as one of the NFL's best pass rushers, and I still believe that, but we're at the point now where neither Jones nor the Chiefs are benefiting from this holdout. Fans are taking sides. Travis Kelce is pleading for Jones to come back on his podcast, and Jones's agent is leaking numbers to Mike Florio to try to sway public opinion. It's a mess and a distraction for the team and what they're trying to achieve this year. I understand fans who are in favor of players getting every last dollar possible in a billion-dollar violent sport with a short earnings window. I also understand fans who have a team-first attitude and have no patience for players who are already millionaires putting a few more million above what's best for the team. My argument is that we're now at a point where things are hurting both sides, and no one is winning. The Chiefs are in the middle of a Super Bowl window, where they can claim to be one of the great dynasties in NFL history. Chris Jones is a big part of that. I'm not just talking about his role in the last 2 Super Bowl wins, but also his chances of winning a third in this era and cementing his legacy forever. The Chiefs' ability to win a second Super Bowl after trading star Tyreek Hill when they couldn't agree on a contract made many fans confident they could do the same without Jones. There's just one big problem there. The Chiefs had the best offensive mind in football with Coach Andy Reid, the best quarterback in football with Patrick Mahomes, and arguably the greatest tight end of all time with Travis Kelce to keep the offense running without Hill. There's no one of that stature on defense to replace Jones. Now, before you think I'm saying Jones has all the leverage here, he doesn't. Jones is set to make $19.5 million this season and has already accrued around $2 million in fines for his holdout. When he starts adding game checks to that total, it won't take long for his holdout to cost him nearly the difference between what the Chiefs are offering and what he's asking for. That's why both sides would benefit from a compromise and getting this deal done. The Chiefs need Jones to have his best shot at another Super Bowl this season, and Jones needs to close a deal soon to maximize what he gets this season so that the overall money works in his favor. The Chiefs also had a fantastic locker room with little to no drama during the Super Bowl era, and the longer this drags on, the more people will take sides, potentially turning one of KC's strengths as a team into a problem. So, what would a compromise look like? Well, we can use the leaked numbers from a few days ago to find a fairly simple solution, but first, we need to contextualize these numbers. I apologize in advance for all the math you're about to digest, but I'll try to keep it as straightforward as possible. First of all, instead of reading the agent's biased opinion on the Chiefs' offer and Jones's demand that was released a few days ago, I strongly recommend Jason Fitzgerald's article from Over the Cap. It presents both sides' offers impartially. We know Jones is supposed to make $19.5 million in 2023. If reports are accurate, it seems both sides are looking for deals that would add 2 additional years to Jones's contract and keep him under contract until the 2025 season. Jones would be 31 years old in that season. The Chiefs' offer would give him $55 million in new money, and the deal Jones's camp wants would give him $65 million in new money. The difference lies in how these deals are presented. Jones's camp says that when you combine the $19.5 million for this season with the $65 million in new money, you get $84.5 million over 3 years, which averages about $28.2 million per year, which is right in the middle between Quinnen Williams and Aaron Donald's deals. Their view on KC's offer is that when you combine the $19.5 million for this season with $55 million in new money, the average is only $24.8 million per year, which is slightly above Williams' deal and about $7 million per year below Donald's. However, as Fitzgerald points out in his Over the Cap article, teams traditionally view deals in terms of new money. So, in KC's eyes, Jones's side wants $65 million in new money over 2 additional years added, which averages $32.5 million per year. That's more than Aaron Donald's deal. Their position is that their $55 million over 2 additional years equals $27.5 million per year, which falls in the intermediate range between Williams and Donald. So, both sides are arguing that they want a deal between Williams and Donald, but they're selling the deal in different ways to reach that range. To the Chiefs' credit, their deal is the one that would get there by traditional deal reporting. I understand that some fans will be inflexible about the Chiefs not giving up a single dollar beyond that. However, I think there's a potential compromise to be had. The Chiefs are offering $55 million in new money over 2 additional years. Jones's camp says they'll receive $65 million in new money over the next 2 years. So, I say, agree to $60 million in new money over 2 additional years, and let's make this happen. That amounts to $2.5 million more per year during the 2 new years. This number won't make a drastic difference in what the Chiefs can do in terms of salary cap over those 2 years in terms of other extensions or free agent signings. By traditional reporting methods, this would put Jones at $30 million APY, average per year, in his 2 new years. That's still $1.7 million below Aaron Donald, but significantly above Quinnen Williams. Jones is 4th in sacks in the entire NFL over the last 5 years, was in contention for Defensive Player of the Year last year, and was voted one of the top 10 players in the entire NFL by his peers last season. This $30 million APY number reflects that, and with the next wave of top pass rushers about to start getting new deals and the cap continuing to rise, this $30 million APY mark will become increasingly common. This deal would also raise Jones's 3-year average that his camp is using, the $19.5 million from this year plus the $60 million in new money, to $26.5 million APY. So, even if they use their creative perspective on the deal, this would still place Jones ahead of Williams in the average over the next 3 seasons. The Chiefs will be a good team this season, even if Jones holds out for several games. My concern is that if this holdout lasts too long, it could cause locker room problems. I would almost guarantee that there would be some angry players with Jones for holding out for so long and hurting the team, and others who would be upset with the team for not paying a star player and potentially making them question whether they would be able to re-sign with the team when it's time for a new deal. Even when Jones reports, his conditioning could be an issue and could lead to injuries. The Chiefs won a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill, but I don't see it happening without Chris Jones this season. I also don't see the point of accumulating millions in fines for Jones if all that means is getting a few more million per year. These things will simply cancel each other out. Both sides would benefit if this were to happen and if Jones returned to the team as soon as possible. It's still early enough that they can ease him into the rotation over the first month or so and then have him at full strength and use him in the second half of the season. So, what do you Chiefs fans think? I know some of you are vehemently in favor of Chris Jones getting his money, and some of you are fed up with Jones to the point where you're fine with letting him go. I'm arguing that a compromise is in everyone's interest, but I'd love to read your opinion in the comments below. Now it's time for you to interact with me about the Kansas City Chiefs, dear fan, so leave your comment down here as it's important for my work. If you want to receive news every day about the Kansas Chiefs, hit the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any important updates about your beloved team.